Hi there. So I'm coming to you today because you are one of our employment-based clients, meaning that you are trying to obtain a green card in one of the 5 employment-based categories, and you're not going to love what I have to say. This month came out the August, what we call Visa Bulletin. We may have discussed the Visa Bulletin in the past. The Visa Bulletin is a document published each month by the Department of State that tells us where we are in the lines, right, for what we call visa availability. So employment-based visas have an annual quota, right? I want to say off the top of my head, it's 140,000, the annual quota, and that is divided amongst the 5 employment-based categories. So when that annual quota gets filled, we start having lines, right? And as I'm discussing with a lot of you, the U.S. labor market is not great right now finding American workers. So we've had a huge influx of labor certification cases, national interest waiver cases, and even an uptick in extraordinary ability and multinational executives and managers, right? And so because there's just so much more interest in hiring foreign employees because of the lack of available qualified workers in the United States, we have started to see a line, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about, right? So like I said, the Visa Bulletin is published each month by the Department of State. It tells us which cases are currently available, are at the front of the line for green card processing, right? So here's our Visa Bulletin for August 2023. I'm making this video on July 25th, 2023. So about halfway through the month, we get the Visa Bulletin published for the following month. So we got this a few days ago, and it was actually, got it like over a week ago, but last week I was in San Antonio doing a asylum hearing at the immigration court in San Antonio, so I didn't have a chance to reach out to everybody, but this sent shockwaves through the immigration lawyer community. All right. So as I was telling you, it explains here statutory numbers. We have, like I said, 140. Oh no, we have 140,000 per year for employment-based green cards, and then they're divided into the 5 subcategories. And they tell you if you're priority workers, advanced degrees, so second preference labor certifications with master's degrees are hires, national interest waivers, first priority workers are extraordinary ability, and multinational executive managers and outstanding professors and researchers. Third is labor certifications for everybody else, bachelor's degrees and less. Fourth are special immigrants, which really nobody, it's like Afghani translators for the U.S. Army. And then 5th is our EB-5, our investor millionaire green card, where you invest $1 million and create at least 10 jobs, and you get your green card through employment creation, right? Now we go down here to the charts. Most people are going to fall into all chargeability areas. So only if you're from China, India, Mexico, or the Philippines will you fall into one of these other charts. Otherwise, you will be looking at column 1, right? And so you see here, first preference, there's barely a line. It's actually not even a real line. It's August 1st of 2023. That's what that means. So you can basically file your green card still at the same time with your I-140, your application for adjustment with your petition. That's the basis of your adjustment of status at the same time. Second preference, which is our national interest waivers and our labor certifications requiring a master's or higher, are now backlogged over a year. We're in July of 2023. We are only allowing green card processing for people who filed before April 1st of 2022. And what we call the priority date in a labor certification case is, so that date that you're looking at to see whether you're eligible to file is the date the labor certification is filed, right? On first preference, it's going to be the date the I-140 is filed. But in second and third, for labor certification, it's going to be the date the labor certification was filed. On second preference, with the national interest waiver, it'll be when the I-140 is filed. Now, in third preference, we break it down into everybody, which is bachelor's and higher, skilled workers, and then other workers are people who the job position does not require more than 2 years of experience and does not require a degree. So if it requires a degree or requires 2 years of experience, you're going to be in the regular third category. Otherwise, it'll be in the other worker category. And there's where we have the big backlog. May 1st of 2020, right? So there's over a 3-year backlog right now in this third preference category. Now, just to give you an idea of why it was so shocking to immigration lawyers to see this, I'm going to show you the visa bulletin for May of 2022. So this is, just a little over a year ago. Like a lot of us started the cases with, for example, labor certifications, prevailing wages back in the middle of 2022 or the early 2022. And this was not a problem back then, as you're going to see here. So when we go down to the final action dates here for the May 2022 visa bulletin, C means current, as it says here, meaning that you can file a green card right away. There is no line. So this is why it was so shocking to immigration lawyers. Although I had been saying this for months, some of you who are getting this video, I predicted this, told you it would happen months ago because of the volume of labor certification cases being filed and national interest waivers being filed. And so realistically, there are people that are going to have to leave the United States because they're not going to be able to maintain a non-immigrant status for long enough to go through all the processing, and you can't stay here until the green card case is pending, and the green card case cannot be filed until your priority date is current under the visa bulletin. Unfortunately, this was unpredictable when we started most cases back in 2022, most labor certification cases, national interest waiver cases. Nobody guessed that the backlog would become so significant. Now, the good news is that immigration uses a fiscal calendar. So on October 1st, the new fiscal calendar will open. We'll get new numbers, a new 140,000 numbers, and then the visa bulletin will move a lot. But I do expect that we will continue to see a backlog, a line in the third preference category because there's just too many labor certifications. There's only percentage-wise, they get 28.6 of the 140,000, so that's about 45,000 in total. And when you go online to the Department of Labor website and look at how many labor certifications are being filed, it far exceeds that 45,000, right? And so we know that a backlog is going to continue to happen. In fact, when I'm doing consults right now, I am recommending to a lot of people to look at Canada as an option to immigrate when they want to get out of their country relatively quickly, because employment-based immigration is going to be very tough for the next few years because of the backlogs that we are seeing. And I can tell you, as someone who has been filing a ton of labor certifications over the past 6 months to a year, it's likely to get worse before it gets better. I'm always super honest with you guys, good or bad. And you're not going to hear this from a lot of people, but you can go to the Department of Labor website. You can actually do the math on how many labor certifications are being filed. We don't know whether they're second or third preference, but between those two categories, there's 90,000, including the national interest waivers, and there's way over 90,000 in the past year that have been filed. So we just know that there's been a line going to continue to grow and grow. So like I said, some of us may have to do extensions of status that we did not anticipate when we started the case. Some of us may have to go home and wait out our green cards abroad. I mean, it sounds really harsh, but that is a reality for some people. And for those of you who are outside of the US right now, you may be waiting a much longer time, but the visa bulletin is out of our control. And unless Congress changes the caps, changes the annual quota, this is going to continue to be a problem. So, I just wanted to bring it up right now, let you guys know the visa bulletin is very backlogged. We're not going to take any action right now. We're going to wait to see what happens in October when the new visa bulletin gets out, see how far the numbers progress forward when the new quota is released. That will be around mid-September. I'll do another video for you guys, giving you an update on where we are in the visa bulletin. But I just wanted to put it out there that some of you will have to start thinking about alternative strategies, unfortunately, because there will simply be no other option. That's just the way it is, guys. I wish I could change it. Lobby Congress to increase the numbers. That's what we need to do. That's the only real solution. Or lobby Congress to change the numbers per person versus per applications. Right now, if one person has a family of 10 people, they use 11 numbers in the quota on one application. So there's also a lot of push to change it to one application per one visa number per application. That'll be another good solution to fix the backlog. But Congress has to do that, guys, and we know the U.S. Congress is probably not going to do anything, right? Anyways, have a good one. Let me know if you have questions, and I'm sorry to drop this bombshell on you, but it is what it is. It's out of our control. All right, guys, take care.